everybody, so today I'm going to be showing you all of my favourites so far in 2024. So this is my 6-month review. First time I've ever tried any sort of review of this length on my channel, which is why I am wearing a full face of my favourite makeup, because I didn't want to do all of this in one go because it would be a 4-hour video because there are so many favourites. So I'm just going to show you my absolute favourite, and I thought it'd be really good fun if you could try to figure out before I tell you which one I am actually wearing. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm not a professional, just somebody who really loves makeup and beauty. I upload at least twice, sometimes 3 times a week here on my channel, and I like to show you reviews of my favourite products, my favourite looks, any tips, news I think might interest you. If you think you'd enjoy that, I would love it so much if you liked and subscribed and hit that notification bell. And if you're already subscribed to me, thanks for returning to my channel. I really appreciate every single one of you so very much. And if you'd like to comment below, I'd love to get to know you and chat with you about this video and about anything really. It does help my channel, but most of all, I just really do love getting to know you. And my skin tone, if that's helpful with all of the makeup trying on today, or showing you rather. I've got fair to light skin with a neutral, slightly cool undertone, and I've got combination skin, mostly dry, but I do get an oily T-zone. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get on with this video. So as I said, normally I would try on my favourites. That's the sort of format I do for my monthly favourites. But because this is 6 months and I want to show you several favourites, because I couldn't pick one over all of them. There's just been such good makeup out this year. Honestly, it's been an incredible year. I've been so pleased with so many things I've tried. So it was really hard for me to pick, and I can't say I've got the top favourites on my face because I think there's a lot of joint favourites here. So I'm going to go through each topic and show you which ones are my favourites. And as I said at the start, I would love it if you hit pause and tried to guess which one out of the ones I'm showing you have I chosen to put on my face today. So just quickly starting with skincare, I don't actually have this on me, it's upstairs, I should have brought it with me, but I've been using Dermatica now for nearly 3 years. Dermatica is one of the reasons I think my skin has improved so much. It's balanced out my skin tone, it gives me smooth skin, it's helped to remove a lot of the age spots, reduce them, it's just given me really beautiful skin. So my Dermatica prescription has changed a lot over the years. I've gone up and down in tretinoin, and came off it for a little while, and now I'm back on it. I'm back up to the 0.05% tretinoin, and it's going very well. I'm on that 6 days a week, just taking 1 day off. So highly recommend Dermatica. I've been with them for years, and in the last year I became an affiliate with them as well, so I do have a discount code for you. All discount codes are below, so use that if that's helpful to you. But honestly, Dermatica is fabulous, love them. Anyway, this is the first one to show you from my daily skincare since getting this from TINTED, and it's worth noting how much I've actually used. I've used it every single day since I got this, and it's been at least 6 weeks, if not 2 months. I can't remember exactly, but every morning I splash a few drops of this into my hand and use this. It's a beautiful toner, very balancing, gives a little bit of hydration and really helps my skincare to work well. So this is the TINTED, what's the full name? Milk Skin Toner. This is great and such good value, honestly. TINTED prices are really, really good, and this will last me all year easily. So next I go in with my vitamin C serum, and my favourites this year have been the ROC vitamin C serum. This is the fairly new one. I have shown this before on my channel. This one does actually give me a bit of a glow, so it depends on the sort of base I'm using. So if my foundation is very glowy, I'd probably skip this one and I would go to this one. So it just depends, but I love this one, I really do. And this one is the Dr. Sam Bunting vitamin C, and the reason this one's become a firm favourite, in fact I've subscribed to get this every month. I just stopped it for 1 month because of enjoying this one so much. But this one sits beautifully under makeup. In fact, they both do. They both sit beautifully under makeup. The only difference I'm finding, as I said, is more of a glow with this one, and this one has a lovely orange scent, whereas this one has less of a scent and less of a glow. Beautiful vitamin C products. I use that every single day. Now in the summer, I'm not actually going in with another moisturiser. I'm finding I don't need to, but usually in the winter I would now go in with a moisturiser as well. So the only one that's new to me that I have really enjoyed, sorry, two that are new to me that I've really enjoyed, again, is the TINTED Ceramic Milk Ampule. Again, this is very glowy, but this is a beautiful, beautiful hydrating product. Honestly, it's gorgeous to use, especially with that toner. And the other one I've really loved is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Instant Glow Moisturiser. This is fabulous, and this actually has a bit of vitamin C in it, I do believe. Yes, vitamin C and niacinamide. So if I'm using this one, I don't really need to use the vitamin C either. I could just go in straight with this and use it as my moisturiser and my vitamin C. I don't think it's got quite as much vitamin C in it, but anyway, these two are both fabulous new ones I've tried this year. And for under the eyes, I've got the brand new ROC vitamin C stick. So easy to apply, but this has worked brilliantly under every single product I've put on top of it. It's really good with all of my concealers, all of my skincare, every single thing it's worked with. And the same goes for the Ole Henriksen one. It's not a particularly new one, this, but this one has more of a correcting property. It actually corrects colour. So these two have just been standouts for me and ones that always work under every single product I've put on top. And the same I've found with the Ole Henriksen Under Eye Brightening Cream, is that what it's called? Banana Bright Eye Cream. This one's been around for a long time. It's not new like the moisturiser, but it's new to me because I bought it with the moisturiser, and this is another one that is just brilliant. I prefer the sticks because I just find them so easy. The ROC, I think when I run out of this one, I'll just get another one because it's like having this in stick format and you're just putting it straight into your eyes. It's so easy. But I do love the Ole Henriksen one. And sunscreen. I've got loads of favourite sunscreens, but I'm just going to show you this one. This is one I have been using ever since I got it. I was sent it in PR and I loved it so much I bought another one as soon as it started to run out. This has a lovely formula. This works underneath every single type of foundation I've tried. It's so soft, creamy and beautiful. Honestly, it blends in beautifully with my skin. It leaves absolutely no white cast whatsoever. And it's just so soothing and soft and beautiful. Honestly, it's called the Sika, or is it Sika? I'm not sure. Sorry about that. Soothing sunscreen. It's got 50 SPF plus, and it's called the F Sika Complex. And it says it's suitable for sensitive skin as well. It says soothing, and honestly, it absolutely is. It's so beautiful. And I've got probably about 25 different SPFs, maybe 30, and I just can't use them because I just want to use this one every day. And then straight on to primers. Now this one is pretty much brand new. It's only come out in the last few weeks. I have put this on my channel, so you might have seen me review it. This is from Delilah, from their Wake Up range. It's called the Radiant Eye Perfector. 2 little dabs of this underneath my eyes on top of that vitamin C serum. This makes every single concealer so far that I've tried sit perfectly, so I highly recommend this one if you've got mature skin and you struggle with this area here where your lines are just filling up and maybe caking a bit. This is the answer. I pat this underneath here and across my eyelids to prime for eyeshadow. But it's just for the concealer, that's what it's perfect for. It does perfect, but it also makes the concealer work, which is the key for me. And then primers. This isn't a new primer. They're both Danessa Myricks, but this one is brand new. This came out this year. This is called the Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. This stuff is magic. You just need a couple of drops of this, and then I just rub it between my hands, and then it just mattifies. It really does. It dries down to something you just cannot feel. It doesn't feel powdery even, but it does dry down to a powder. It's just invisible. But I put it into my T-zone area, and this has been so good. I've tried this on products that I get so greasy with, especially skin tints. I thought that was the best way to test it. I put it underneath every single skin tint in my collection. I've actually done a video review of all my favourite skin tints, which you'll find on my channel. But in that video, in every test I used it with, I did not get one bit of grease coming through, and I didn't need to powder again all day. So if you get that oily T-zone, I highly recommend this. It's absolute magic. And the Danessa Myricks Glowy Serum. This isn't new, but it's new as in it's new into my rotation. I just got it out again recently because I was doing something with Danessa Myricks, and I haven't put it away. I've used it nearly every time. So this has become, maybe this is my summer serum, but this one, when I've noticed that certain foundations are drying on me or just caking, especially in this area here, this is just beautiful. And this is the one I'm wearing today. I'll tell you that right now. I'm wearing this one because I want to avoid getting that dryness, even though you'll see with the foundation it's not particularly drying, not that I'm going to give too much away yet, but this one is just working underneath nearly every foundation, and it's a particularly good summer one, plus it gives you a glow. I've got mine in the shade Main Squeeze. It does give you a lovely glow, it feels beautiful on the skin, and I just can't stop using it. And now eyebrows, I've been using this duo from Victoria Beckham. This is the new Featherfix, and I've got it in light brunette. So you can see it's got this sort of comb, and you can see the colour on it there. It's just super easy to comb through the lashes. And then I've been going in with the eyebrow pen. This is the Baby Blade, and I've got this in light brown. It's got that sort of triangular shape on it. I bought this for the very first time with the new Featherfix product that came out this year, and I've been using these two together. So I run this underneath and just fill a little bit. And these two together, my eyebrows are really held in place all day, and it gives me that little bit of colour using this and then just filling a little bit with that. So this combination, very quick and easy, and it's become a real go-to. So I'm really enjoying this duo a lot. So now on to foundation. I've tested quite a lot of foundation this year. So before I go into any details on them, I'm going to show you my favourites. So firstly was the Gucci Cushion Foundation and the TINTED Cushion Foundation, the Tom Ford Architecture Matte Foundation, and the MAC Studio Fix, the reformulated MAC Studio Fix, and the Lisa Eldridge Skin Tint. So before I go into any details, can you guess which of these I am wearing today? I'll tell you when I've gone through them all. So I can tell you, I can't actually pick a favourite. They've all got different purposes, but I've probably got a top two, I think. Certainly with Lisa Eldridge, my favourite skin tint of all time has become Lisa Eldridge. This gives me a little bit of coverage, but most importantly, it balances out all of my redness. This is beautiful to wear, super, super easy to apply. And for a skin tint, it is so long lasting. It goes beyond 8 hours for me, which for a skin tint is amazing. I love the packaging. It's just been a complete winner for me, honestly, unbeatable. And I've got this in the shade T3. And then at the start of the year, I think my very first one I tried was the Gucci foundation. This has got beautiful packaging. This gives me a lovely radiant finish. You can see it's got exactly the same sort of pad that you get with the TINTED, and then you've got the cushion there. The only problem with this is it doesn't have a lot of shades, and it's quite difficult to find your shade match. My first one was actually too light. So this one is shade 04. So it's quite a good match for me, 04. I've never had any caking with this. It applies beautifully. It sits really well in my trouble zones, especially around the T-zone and my nose and chin area. It gives a lovely, fresh, radiant finish. It's got excellent coverage up to about, it doesn't go further than medium, but it does go up to medium. It can be built up. It's got a lovely scent. It's just a pure joy to use. I do love this. I just wish there were more shades for everybody, but I think I found my shade. So I have actually tested out these two side by side and been quite surprised how some people couldn't decide which was better, or some people chose MAC and some people chose Tom Ford. Now Tom Ford gives me probably the most perfected finish ever that I've got in my whole collection. It lasts all day and I just feel like my skin looks utterly perfect. It can be a little bit tricky, the Tom Ford. That's the only thing I would say about this, is it doesn't react well to certain types of skincare. So when I first tried this, I did actually have a few problems, but I found that if I didn't put a very moisturizing base underneath, which is for a matte, I would expect I would need to, but if I didn't do that and I just either skipped primer altogether or even go for the Danessa Myricks one, which, you know, the one I showed you at the start, the one that mattifies. Seems a bit strange, matte plus matte, but this one does not seem to like me having a very moisturizing base. So when I avoid that, I get a beautiful finish with this one. So this is was it £130 and $150? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's the most expensive foundation I've ever bought. I'll be keeping this one for special nights out. This is, like I said, the most perfect finish, and I do love this one. And I've got this in the shade Porcelain. But if you wanted a cheaper alternative that gives you a very similar finish and has the same longevity, same level of coverage, which by the way with Tom Ford is, I would say, medium. I don't think it goes up to full, but it's slightly above medium. So medium, between medium and full, I would say. And the same goes with the MAC Studio Fix. So this was recently reformulated. Sorry, I can see it's in a right mess there. I've used this quite a lot since I got it. This gives me this sits beautifully, actually, really, really beautifully, and it gives me a perfect finish. I don't get any caking, and it goes well beyond the 8 hours, just like the Tom Ford. So the only difference, and it is very slight, is it's not quite as perfect skin. It's not giving me quite as much perfect skin as the Tom Ford. I even got my husband to look at my skin once when I was trying one either side. You will find a shorts video somewhere here on YouTube of me doing that exact test. And when he looked at it, he definitely went for the Tom Ford side. He said one side just looks a little bit more special. And I thought, ah, well, that's Tom Ford. So, but this is a fantastic alternative and a really good upgrade. I've really enjoyed this. And what's most surprising about this for a matte finish is it's got quite a lot of moisture in it. So it's a bit hydrating as well. I think that was the main change. They added skincare. So this is beautiful. So next, the Fenty. I don't think I picked that up at the beginning, did I? Anyway, the Fenty Soft Lit Luminous Foundation, is that the full title? Luminous Long Wear Foundation, and I've got mine in shades 170 and 125. I think 125 is my winter colour and 170 is my summer colour. Now when I first reviewed this, I actually didn't like it very much, so if you look at my first review, I wasn't that pleased. I did find that I couldn't get powder to sit on it. And I have since found a way of applying this that it works absolutely perfectly, so much so that I went back and used it again and again and again. So this has become a firm favourite. The way to apply this one for me, even though it's luminous, is to have a very moisturising base. So something like the Danessa Myricks or something like the Bobbi Brown face base, that's a really good option. Anything that's basically super moisturising. This seems to work so much better when I've got a moisturising base. And also, don't apply a lot. Really, a little goes a long way with this. Over applying it is what causes the cakiness. So I've been putting foundation into the palm of my hand lately to really get this to sit with the warmth of my skin and warm up. And then I apply this one with a brush or a sponge. Actually, it works well with both. And then just go lightly, go really lightly, especially in the T-zone. You do not want to build this up, and as long as you apply it that way without applying it heavily, it sits beautifully all day without any of the caking issues. It gives you a lovely luminous finish, as it says, so you get that radiant, very hydrating, very comfortable on the skin. This one is passing the longevity test. It is going past the 8 hours. So this one's been a real winner for me and a surprise. I also went back and tried the Fenty concealer, which I didn't enjoy much. I'm not going to include that in this video, by the way, but I am now finding that that's working rather well if I have moisture underneath. So something about the Fenty products for me work better when I have that moisture, the moisturising products underneath. So this has been a winner for me. I really do love this one a lot. So lastly, the TINTED. Now I reviewed this on my channel. I've done a few shorts showing this compared with other ones, but one little tap of this and scrape off, because that's all you need. And I like to apply it with this. I've tried the brush, I've tried a sponge, and I've tried this. As long as you use these two fingers and you tap really lightly, and you only have a tiny amount, and then you can sort of bend it up like this to get into tighter areas like around the nose, but it's tap, tap, tap. And also, as with so many I'm finding, and this may well be a summer thing again, that moisturising base. So with this one, I've been using the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum, and as long as I've got a little bit of moisture, not too much, just a little bit, this just sort of works and melts into it. So a tiny bit of this, if you don't want to have a really heavy base. But what you can do is you can go back in and build it up in the areas where you want a bit more cover, and that way you can really turn it into full coverage. and this really does give you full coverage. But if you're very light-handed, it can be medium, so it's got that flexibility. And what is really good about this is it does last. It's got this 72-hour promise. Obviously, I've never tested that one out, but I can tell you it's gone beyond 10 hours with me and it's still been really good. I do get a little bit of wear of it moving around here, and I do get a little bit of caking in that area if I've eaten certain types of food, as I do with every product. But the longevity on this is phenomenal. The finish on it is phenomenal. It also gives me a slightly radiant finish. It's not completely matte. This has got a lot of skincare in. It's really hydrating, very kind to the skin. It's also got SPF 40, so it's really good to top up on the SPF as well. And you can just top up during the day if you need to. Just have a little tiny bit and keep this in your bag, and you can just top up. So if this area here from food was losing some coverage, you can top up with it. This has been a real surprise. I thought this was pure hype on TikTok, to be honest with you, but this one is a firm favourite. So anyway, now you've seen all of these, which one do you think I'm wearing today? Press pause and please tell me, which foundation do you think I'm wearing? And the answer is this one. So this is the cheapest out of all of the ones I've just showed you. I was a little bit torn in the beginning because the Gucci one is so good. Which one do I prefer? They're actually quite similar in the way I love them, in all honesty, but I think this one wins based on the price, because this is, well, it's at least half, if not less. It's incredibly good price on this. But if I was going to go, like, this is what I mean about not having a number one, because if I was going to go for the perfect finish, it would be Tom Ford. It's just, I find the TINTED so easy. In fact, one way to really measure how much I love the TINTED is when I do a video here on YouTube testing out new blushes and I have to take my makeup off and put it back on again. I tend to take it off in this area only, so I'm leaving my base in place here and here. I need a really workable foundation that will just manage to sit, even if there's powders up here and here, that will really sit without causing any problems. And the TINTED is the perfect one. It just goes straight in, blends in a flash, and I could go straight in with my products. It's just the easiest one. I took it on holiday with me. I love it. I've used it the most probably out of all of these since first trying it. So for that reason, it's a good everyday, it's a reliable everyday, it gives you perfect coverage, it's comfortable, it's skin loving, it's got SPF, it's just, it ticks so many boxes for me. But yes, if I want the perfect look, it would be the Tom Ford. So next for concealers, I've got two top concealers from this year, and that is the Galan Terracotta and the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. Now this one is a pretty new one, but I can easily put it in my favourite for 6 months, over the 6 months. And it goes above the Galan, I think. The Galan is beautiful, blends out beautifully, very forgiving on mature skin, and has a really good longevity. Gives me, I'd say, medium-ish coverage. It's not quite medium, I'd say, but nearly. And with the Danessa Myricks, it's definitely giving me medium coverage. I'm not sure if it goes any higher than that, but the reason this one is easily my number one is this is the easiest one to apply I've ever had, I think. I think it could even take my number one of all time spot. That's how much I love this. I really do. Everywhere I put it, be it my nose and here, which can be the most difficult spots for me with concealer, it just blends in beautifully. You cannot see it, it disappears, it lasts really well. It's very forgiving on all of my fine lines and texture. It doesn't cake up at all. I don't use much. If you get this, you do not need much if you have mature skin. I literally put one dot there and then work it across. So these are absolutely beautiful. Can't stop using them. And for lighter days, maybe no makeup days, one of my favorites has been from Borean. This is the Super BB Concealer. This applies as easily as Danessa Myricks, maybe give me a little bit less coverage, but this is exceptionally easy to use and so good for mature skin. One of the best I've ever tried on mature skin, this and Danessa Myricks. I think they've been my top two recommendations right now for mature skin. Absolutely stunning. So next for setting powders. So I'm not going to ask you to guess any of these, it's way too difficult for you. So I'm just going to show you my favourites at the moment. So I have really been enjoying the new Rare Beauty. I've only recently got this, but I am enjoying it a lot. So this one gives me really good blurring capabilities. I've got this one in the lightest shade, Porcelain, And this is quite similar in the way that it blurs and the way that it works to the new Hourglass. This is the Hourglass airbrush, and this is in translucent light. It's called the Vanish Airbrush Pressed Powder. So these are both new, similar shades, but I'd say that the Hourglass is slightly lighter, which is the problem I'm having with Rare Beauty. This would not take top spot for that reason. It's slightly yellowy, I think, even when this is the lightest, and it's quite a big shade range. So this one, it does work under the eyes and face, so tick for that. It really is great. I've been trying this under my eyes and all over my face ever since getting this. I'm having no problems at all with it settling into fine lines. It is very blurring, very beautiful to use. The only thing I would say is you can't over apply it because it does start to look a bit cakey, so you need to be careful. But a layer of this all over the face works really, really well. But it is a bit too yellow. I would prefer it to be lighter for brightening areas like underneath the eyes, which is why it's not taking top spot. This one is lighter, the one from Hourglass, but this one doesn't work well for me under the eyes, but it does work really, really well for me all over the face. In fact, I think this gives me one of the most perfected finishes I've ever seen from a powder, so I love this one all over the face. I've got this one on today, in fact, all over the face, just not underneath the eyes. But I do prefer a setting powder to be able to do both jobs for me. So again, this isn't going to take top spot, but when I want, which is what I've gone for today, my sort of favourite look, when I want that really perfected finish, I would use two setting powders, and this at the moment is actually my favourite for blurring out the rest of the face. So the other favourite is this new pressed version of the Givenchy Prisme Libre, and this is in shade 01, the pastel shade. I've only just recently reviewed this on my channel, and this one works under the eyes and all over the face. This is what I'm wearing today underneath my eyes. But this would be my number one of all time in every way, because I like this in the loose form and I like it in the pressed. I find them both to work so well. In fact, they are the best. They are the best for my skin. They never ever go into fine lines. They always blur. You don't need a lot of the product. A very light layer is enough to give you that set finish, that blurred perfected finish. And this shade and shade 3 work really well underneath my eyes. This pressed formula though is just so easy to use. You're not having to tip out the loose powder. So this is actually taking over from my loose now. So I think I would rather have this than the loose because I don't want a lot of powder on my face. So I'm using less when I use this. And this is just beautiful. So this one, number one. But I do want to show you one other powder which has become a firm favourite for me. And this is from YSL. This is their finishing powder. And this is in the shade 1. I did actually get this in the translucent as well to test out the two. I thought I preferred the translucent, I think. I can't remember now. Anyway, there is a video showing that somewhere. But this is the one I've gone back to the most. In fact, this one hasn't left my desk since I very first got this when it launched. So this is the one I use as a finishing powder. So basically when everything is done, everything's set, my blusher, bronzer, highlighter, everything is on, I go in with, wait a minute, let me show you. My Buffer Pro from Sonia G, which is incredible, and just swirl this around and just go around the whole face, and it just makes everything fuse perfectly. So you've got completely soft edges, you haven't got any harsh lines for your blush or your bronzer, and this does the job perfectly. In fact, I prefer this one to the Hourglass finishing powder, which was my number one before, but this has taken over. So the next step in my routine is to contour, and the one I've been using the most for this is actually, well, the one I've loved the most from new releases is from the Makeup Forever face palette. This is the HD Skin Face Essentials palette in light to medium, and sorry it's in this huge mess, but it's a bit difficult to clean up, but you can see how much I've used this one. This is super helpful for travel. I've used this one quite a lot. I like to mix either this and this to create foundation and concealer base, and it works brilliantly on my skin tone. And for my bronzer shade, I mix this one and this one. I use sort of one tap of this and two of this, and then just keep applying as I need more, and it makes a beautiful bronzing shade mixing these two together. And this one is my contour shade. These ones are blush shades. They look a bit faint because of the way I've used them. You can just see I've put a dirty brush on top, I'm so sorry. These two are highlight shades. So I do use this when it's just ease of use, but I do have blushes and highlighters I probably prefer, but it's still beautiful. It's such a convenient palette. And this is just the perfect contour shade. So I use this a lot, and it's definitely the best contour product in my collection from this year. Anyway, I've got lots of favorites from previous years, but this is definitely a big favorite and a huge hit altogether, this palette. Love it. And the other cream bronzer which I've really enjoyed is from Too Faced. This is the Chocolate Soleil Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick, and this is the Chocolate Mousse. This smells like a Terry's chocolate orange. I love the smell of it. I've got this on today. I've also got the Makeup Forever contour on today, so I'm wearing everything I'm showing you. So this is actually underneath because I'm wearing powders on top. So I use this as sort of underpainting, if you like, not under foundation, but underneath powders. So this is basically in all my bronzing areas, but you don't need to powder on top. If you build this up, you'll get plenty of bronzer. You don't need to put powder bronzer on top. But yeah, this is beautiful. So easy to blend out, an absolute joy. And I love the smell. And this is a favourite too. This is from Makeup by Mario. This is actually their Serum bronzer. Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum in the shade Light. So this one has a doe foot applicator, which also serves as a pump, which is quite clever, even though I've only really gone for the doe foot when I use it. So you can actually pump out as well. And this is just super easy to blend out. The only thing I am starting to find is with certain foundations, it does lift the foundation. So I think you need to be careful which product you use this with. So I can't recommend which foundations this goes with yet. I need to keep playing with it more, but it definitely doesn't go very well with matte foundations, I'm finding. So if you're using a skin tint, that's probably likely to be better. So you need a really hydrated radiant sort of base, I think, for this to work. But when it works, it's beautiful, and it's the perfect sort of cool shade, which I really prefer for my skin tone. So this has been a huge hit as well, and I am using this one a lot since I got it. And then I go in with a powder bronzer, and one of the ones I've enjoyed a lot this year is from YSL. I've got this in the shade 01 and 02. Here is 01 and here is 02. 01 is incredibly light, so this is probably good for me in the winter, and 02 more summer. But what I've actually loved the most is using the two together. So using 02 to start with pretty much in all the bronzing areas, and then just building a bit of depth up with 02. These have a gorgeous, lovely buttery feel to them. They're very easy to work with, no patchiness, they do last all day, they have a lovely smell, the packaging is phenomenal. I just love them. They are really, really good. So a great release there from YSL. And for bronzer, see, I can ask you now, I will stop and say this. I am wearing today one of two of my favourites. These are my two top favourites. So that's the Armani bronzer and the LANCOME bronzer. So I don't know if you'll be able to guess because I'm wearing so many other things on top. But anyway, can you guess? Can you stop, press pause and guess which one I'm wearing today? So the Armani bronzer, which has an incredibly huge amount of product in it. This has got a beautiful glow. It has sort of blurring properties. I'm not even sure if it says it does that, but I find it really does. It does have a sparkle in it, but it's not glitter. And the sparkle doesn't really show up too much at all. If I just show you that here on my arm. It's a perfect shade for me, for summer anyway, a lovely summer shade. And it's just not too sparkly. So you can see there on my arm, it's just not, you can't see the sparkles being caught by the light. So don't be put off by the sparkles on this one. This is the most perfect sun-kissed look, giving you that just got back from holiday look. So this is stunning packaging, stunning finish, very easy to work with. You don't need a lot with this. You need a big fluffy brush. You can swirl around when you've got a big fluffy brush, but not too much. And then just very lightly apply it. So this will last me for the rest of my life because it is massive and I don't need much, but yeah, this is gorgeous. And then we have the new one from LANCOME. Now this one is not, this one is matte. This one is not glowy in the slightest, whereas the Armani is so luminous and glowy. So they're very different, and they're both my favorites because I like to have different looks. So if I want a glowy bronzer, I would use the Armani, and when I want a matte, I would use LANCOME. This one applies like an absolute dream. It is the perfect shade if you want a cool tone bronzer. This has got that buttery softness that you get with LANCOME, but even maybe more buttery and more fine. It is a beautiful shade. You see the Armani is slightly more warm, so it's just a bit more cool toned. And this one is such a good cool tone, I can actually use it to contour as well, so I can contour all over the face if I don't want to go in with a cream or liquid contour first. So neither of these have left my desk since purchasing them. They have both been huge hits. They both last all day. They both look really good all day, and they are both super easy to work with. So which one do you think I'm wearing today? I'm wearing the LANCOME purely because if I had to go for one, I was asking myself which one would I reach for, and it'd probably be the LANCOME because that's the one I've used the most since getting these bronzers. So now moving on to blush, I'm going to show you cream and liquid blush favourites. So these are my 3 favourites so far this year. So this is a cream one from Beaute. This is pretty new to me, but I've been super wowed by it. I haven't even reviewed it on this channel, so I think that should be coming up for you later this week. This is the shade Spicy Marg. It's a beautiful formula. I love this colour as well, by the way. This blends out beautifully under and over powder. I love the packaging. Some people hate it, I think, but I love it. I think it's really cool. And it's just so easy to apply, but the finish on this, it is quite blurring, quite perfecting. It's a stunning finish. I absolutely love them. I do have 2 other shades, so look out for my review on that and you can get more information, but I'm really enjoying this one. And next for liquid, this has been the year of liquid blush. There's so many good ones, but if I had to pick 2, it would be the Armani Silk, and it would be this new one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Now, the Anastasia one is actually a matte finish. It's this one that comes with this almost like needle tip. So this is how it comes out. Here is the Armani. So this is a very different formula. It's much less thick, so it's a lot more watery, I'd say, or just light anyway. But you can see these colours are very similar. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this one is the Armani. The Armani gives you more of a glow, because the Anastasia one does dry down to a matte, but it does somehow still have a glow, I think, when I use it. Now, I won't ask you to guess which one I'm wearing because I'm wearing both. I've put both on underneath powders, so I have got powders sitting on top, so you can't really see it, to be honest with you, but they are beautiful. I've reviewed all of these on my channel. I cannot decide between the 2 of them. I think they are both equally stunning. So it's a question I would just purely decide based on, do you want a matte finish or a more luminous finish, and maybe the price or the packaging, but I think they are both beautiful. So my last video, my most recent one, I reviewed the new Go Play from MAC. I love Go Play from MAC. I didn't need to work that one out, but this colour is one of the new shades and this is stunning. This one is called Totally Synced, and I've been pairing this with the Dainty Mineralized blush, and this combination is stunning, absolutely beautiful. Again, you'd need to see in my review me trying these on, but trust me, they work together absolutely beautifully. This is Totally Synced. I'm only showing you these colours. They are probably one of my favourite colours, but I'm showing you them just so that they're all similar for review purposes. I'll show you Dainty, the mineralized blush. This isn't new, but they work together very well. But what I specifically like to do is to put this on top of the Go Play, and when you put it on top, it just gives you the most gorgeous finish. I really love it. That's a fantastic find for me. I'm definitely going to be doing that quite a lot. And another favourite blush is the new one from Chanel. This is the Duo, the Light and Berry Duo from their Jardin Imaginaire line, which has launched in the last month here in the UK. And here's the blush, and then the highlight is absolutely stunning. If I show you that right next to it, look at it, absolutely gorgeous. I love the way these 2 work together. This is a beautiful duo. I highly recommend this one. And then my other favourite is the Fenty Beauty blushes. There were 3 of these. They were all peachy. This is the most peachy, and this is my favourite. This is called Baked Peach. If you're familiar with my channel, you're probably sick of hearing about Baked Peach because I have not shut up about this one. So there's a swatch of it on my hand. So this is a glowy blush. You can see sort of gold flecks in it. Now this does look very deep for my skin tone, but it works. As long as you're light-handed, it works. And there's probably no point asking you to guess which blush because I've only shown you pinks, and I think it's quite obvious that I've got peach on my cheeks today. So that is the one I've gone for because this is my easy winner. I do love the MAC. I was almost thinking, will I tie it with the MAC because this duo is amazing, but I've only tried it a couple of times. But for me, it's this shade, this peach, for summer anyway. Maybe this would be my favourite combo more in winter, but this is my ultimate favourite blush, and I'd be amazed if at the end of the year if this isn't still in my #1 spot. I adore this one from Fenty. I forgot to mention, I also put aside to show you the Chanel Les Beige winter blushes that came out. Now, obviously this was winter, but I think I started using these in January, so I'm putting it into this review because I have loved these as well. My favourite is probably this one here, which is the Rose Polaire. But they are all beautiful. They're all buildable. I love the embossing, which does seem to last. And they just look gorgeous. I love the way they sit on my skin. I love how easy they are to apply. So they've been other winners for me. There's been so many blushes, but I have sort of forgotten about these because we've moved into the summer blushes. But I'll definitely be returning to these as we go into the autumn and winter. Really, really loved this entire set. So for highlighters, I've got 3 favourites to show you, and one of them is from the LANCOME. This is in the same release as the blush. This is the Taint Idol release, and this is in the shade 01 Light. This one is perfect for the inner corner and under the brow. In fact, I've got it under the brow today, not in the inner corner, but I have got it under the brow. And have I got it on my cheeks? You'll have to wait and see. My other favourite is the Forever Glow Maximizer from Dior. I've loved all of these, to be honest, but this one is in the shade Nude, and this is the one I've used the most. I love this one because it just goes with every single look, and I love the way that this finishes. It's just a stunning, stunning highlighter. Blends in beautifully, sits on top of powder, sits underneath powder, and just gives the most perfect finish for my skin tone. I love it. And the LANCOME is just smooth, buttery soft, just like the bronzer. So easy to apply, and it just looks perfect. There it is, absolutely gorgeous. And another favourite is the one from Danessa Myricks. This one is in the shade Low Key. So this is in her Yummy Skin range again. Quite a lot of yummy skin products coming in this review, aren't there? So this one, just like the blushes, has the same sort of texture. It's almost like it'll dry to a powder after you've applied it. Slightly creamy when you touch it. Very, very easy to blend out. Very different sort of shade there. But this is much more of a sort of summer vibe, this one. And I would use this one with a peach blush. So have I got that one on today? So which one do you think I'm wearing today? You can definitely see the highlight there. Which one is it? Press pause and tell me. And the answer is the Dior. The Dior is just beautiful. I love this. Now the Fenty blush is giving me a strong glow as it does, but I still put this on. In all honesty, I don't think I would normally. When I wear the Fenty blush, you don't need it. But this has almost like taken away the gold and replaced it with this. But this is a stunning highlighter. I absolutely adore it. But my favourite powder is the LANCOME, so it's just a question of different formulas. This is my favourite cream, the Danessa Myricks, my favourite liquid from Dior, and my favourite powder from LANCOME. I couldn't pick between them, they're just different formulas, but they are all favourites, and they've never left my desk since I got them. And next, 2 face palettes, which I am so impressed with. I've gone back to using these again and again, and these have not left my desk. So this one is from Chanel, and this one is from Hourglass. This is the Chanel Les Beige in Light Coral. This one is just the right size, even though they're mixed together, for me to get a brush in and do everything I need to. I don't swirl it around to get one look. I use this for the 3 different looks. So this is a perfect summer one for me. This is quite a sort of warm finish, but just not too warm for my skin tone. And these just look gorgeous. Every time I put this on, I think summer, and it's so easy to use. The highlighter in this is gorgeous. You can use this on the eyes. You can use all of these on the eyes. You can get a full face and eye look with this palette. The only thing I'd say is you don't really get any contour from this shade. It's just not, it doesn't work for me as a contour, but it's serving the purpose of everything, of bronzing, and you can use it to put into the crease and then use one or both of these across the lid. This is great for the inner corner here and for under the brow, and it's stunning highlighter, absolutely gorgeous. So this for me is a real huge hit for the summer. And this one from Hourglass, which was a limited edition. I don't know if this one's still available. These are not new shades, but this is just the perfect selection again for summer. Now all of these work together stunning, exactly the same sort of thing really as the Chanel, except you've got the two different shades of blush. So here the bronzer I can actually use a bit more as a contour, so this one is probably better for me as in serving more purposes. This highlight is a little bit more special I think than the Chanel, so if I had to pick between the two I would probably go with this, but I do love both of them very much. Now this one is called the Ambient Lighting Palette, and this was available on Selfridges when I got it, so I don't know if you can still get this. Everything is obviously linked below for you if you want to try and look them up, but perfect for summer, just stunning. In fact, I'll show you the two highlighters side by side. So this one is the Hourglass and this one is the Chanel. Can you see how special that Hourglass one is though? So there's the Chanel. Both lovely, but I definitely prefer the Hourglass because it's just got more impact. If I compare the two bronzers, this one is from the Hourglass and this one is from the Chanel, and you can see straight away with the Chanel how it's got a lot more pigment. So the Hourglass is more subtle and soft, and it's a lot more glowy actually. It's got that sort of glowy, luminous finish. And I'll compare two of the blushes. If I use the lightest blush from the Hourglass palette, here it is, that's a light pink. And then this is the Coral from Chanel, obviously very different because it's not a pink. So there are those two, both absolutely beautiful. I've loved using these, honestly, and they're great for travel. Really, really perfect because you can just skip taking so many products when you just take one of these. So next up is eyeshadow. Now I love eyeshadow, so I tend to review nearly all of the really nice looking eyeshadows that come out. And as I go through some of my favourites so far this year, let me know which one you think I'm wearing. So press pause at any time and let me know which eyeshadow am I wearing today. So here is one of the first favourites. This is from Dior. I don't think this one's still available, unfortunately. This was one of their limited edition, but it's got the most stunning embossing, which you can't actually see anymore. But this is number 943 L'Atelier Mauve. This is a really pretty spring sort of palette. Love that one. And this one from Chanel, this is the Les Faux Ombre, and this is number 78 Rivage. And the standout for this is this absolutely beautiful blue, which looks like this. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? This is one of the prettiest palettes I think I've ever owned from Chanel. Absolutely love this one. Now this one is in a bit of a mess because this is probably, well, this is the most used eyeshadow palette of the year for me. This is the Master Mattes, the Neutrals from Makeup by Mario. I have used this with so many different looks. It's got so many different shades in it that I can just use to finish off a look, to start a look, or to do a full complete look. So this one is the colour I love to use for fixing things if I go wrong, and it's also perfect for that inner corner and under the brow. And the shade I tend to use the most in the crease is this one, and then any of these four really to build up in the outer V. And all of these four work as liners, but I can also build up depth with the grey and the brown, and these two work as deeper liners. You've got the deep brown and you've got the black. This has got everything I could possibly need. I didn't think I was even going to like this. I got it for review and it's become the most used palette of the year for me. The formulas are stunning, so easy to work with. Absolutely love it. Now this is actually a face palette in theory, but I'm showing you this more for the eyeshadow purposes. But this is from MAC. This was their Teddy Forever. Sorry, I'm sliding it the wrong way. So it's got this highlighter, which is actually like a blush and highlight in one, because it gives you, you'll see what I mean now, a bit like the Fenty blush in a way. You see that sort of peachy finish it gives. But then you've got this eyeshadow palette, which has got beautiful colours like this one. Quite similar to the blush. So when you've got this all over your lid and then you've got this on your cheeks, sorry I called it a blush but it's a highlight, It's a very cohesive look. I really enjoyed using this, and I got it with the Velvet Teddy lipstick and liner, and the full face of eyes, lips, cheeks all matching together in these colours is gorgeous. And I love the fact there's a shade here I can use as a liner. This one is the inner corner, sort of mixing these two together. This one taking up most of the lid, this one taking up the last third of the lid. So it's got everything I could want. I love the packaging. It's got the nice mirror. It's lovely. So this has become a favourite this year. And we've had lots of single eyeshadows coming out this year because the one and done look is very much in fashion. Even though I like to use lots on my eyelids, so maybe I don't go with that rule, but it's very popular. I did get lots from Dior and Chanel, and there's one in particular that stood out, and this is from Chanel. This is from the Ombre Essentiel range, and this one is called Jade Facette, and this is 222. This is a metallic, and I'll show you, if you haven't seen this before, how utterly glorious this is. Look at that. It reminds me of the blue, this sort of impact we got from the blue in that quad from Chanel that I showed you earlier, Ravage. Love this. I love greens. This is one of the nicest shades of green. So this one is one I did definitely pair a lot with the Mario palette. So building up my base sort of colours with the Master Matte palette, and then going in with this. Gorgeous. And then we have Natasha Denona. Look how filthy she is. Apologies. Very, very well lived the golden palette has been so far. I've worn this so many times. So there's so many things you can do with this palette. I think this is really standing a chance of beating my I Need a Nude, which is my favourite Natasha Denona. It was my favourite palette of the year last year. This could beat it or certainly equal it because I adore this. Certainly for summer, this is gorgeous, but it could also be a Christmas palette because we love golds at Christmas too. So maybe this sort of really deep gold would be good for that. But I use this one all the time, and I use any of these three shades here as my very first colour, and then we've got this for lining, any of the shiny shades across the lid. I use this one underneath the brow and in the inner corner, and this one for inner corner as well and under the brow, depending, do I want more of a sort of matte finish or a shiny finish. It gives me everything I could possibly want. The formulas in this are so friendly, so easy to use. It's just gorgeous, lasts all day, and I love it. So which one out of all of my favourite eyeshadows so far this year am I wearing today, do you think? I think it's quite obvious actually, isn't it? It's the golden palette. And there's been quite a few eyeshadow pens, and there's one that stands out for me, and that is the Victoria Beckham in Cornflower. Again, this was a shade I wasn't really sure I was going to love, but I absolutely love this. I don't particularly use it all over the eye, although it does work very well. I have tried it. I like to pat some sort of shimmer over the top when I do that. But what I love to do with this is when I've got more of brown shades. Again, I use my Master Matte palette from the neutrals from Makeup by Mario, create a fairly neutral base, and then use this to line underneath and line quite thickly across, meeting the lashes here, and bring up in a little bit of a wing. And the Cornflower blue meeting that sort of cool brown, I love it. It's absolutely stunning. So this is a real surprise for me, and I love it. And then when it comes to eyeliners, I've got a favourite again from Victoria Beckham, probably my favourite eyeliner formula ever. But this colour I think is my new #1. It's not a colour I can use with every single look, so it's not one I'd reach for all the time like her bronze shades, but look at this. This is her Seafoam colour. I love this. Using exactly the same way as the Cornflower eyeshadow pen. So again, lining here, it can go into the waterline and take it above. You can actually use these all over the lid as well. So, but I do like to use this as a cool liner, again with brown shades. So it's just one of those looks I really do love. So that's been a true favourite. But I have also quite liked the new eyeliners from Dior, the Dior show ones that came out. So I enjoyed all the ones I tried actually, but these are probably my top 2 favourite colours if I just take the lids off. So these are very fine roll-up ones, not sharpened ones like Victoria Beckham. And this one is called Pearly Coral. So that's Pearly Coral. And the other one I like is called Pearly Bronze. Clearly I like the shimmery shades. And that's Pearly Bronze there. So those two, this one is nice in the waterline, I think, if you're matching it with a sort of coral eye look. And this one you can use to line your eyes, and it gives you that bit of shimmer, a bit like the Victoria Beckham shimmery ones do. But all of these, the Victoria Beckhams and the eyeshadow pen and the liner from Victoria Beckham and the liners from Dior, they last all day. This will not leave my hand now, so there's no point, my arm rather, or my hand. I'm pretty much stuck with those unless I get myself a proper cleanser, an oil cleanser, and really get it off. They do lock in. And I can't ask you to guess which one I'm wearing, because I'm not wearing any of these, because I use the golden Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette to line using the deepest brown in that palette. I love using that as a liner. And for mascara, there are two favourites for me this year. One that isn't actually new this year, but it's new to me, and that is the Swede Cloud Mascara, and I've got this in the brown, and the Lisa Eldridge New Kitten Mascara. Since opening both of these are the two I rotate between the most and use the most. I love them both. I'll show you the wands. So this is the wand on the Lisa Eldridge. This one is waterproof. It does not budge, it does not smudge. It gives me great length. I don't have much in the way of lashes, but I get an instant lift from just using one coat of this, which is what I prefer. I don't like to wear a lot of mascara. One coat gives me an instant lift and gives me a bit of length and a bit more of a full effect. It gives me everything I could want, so perfect for me. Exactly the sort of lash I love. I've even bought a backup of this. And the Swede, I haven't bought a backup yet, but I certainly will be, because I am so impressed with this one. So here is the wand on this, and this is the dark brown, and that is the one I'm wearing today. You can't really see that it's brown, but trust me, it just gives you a slightly softer finish. So when I'm wearing browns and golds, I like to use this one, and when I'm not, I like to use Lisa Eldridge, or I don't really mind, I can alternate, but both fantastic. I'd say the Swede is not quite as waterproof as Lisa Eldridge, so that might decide it for me if I'm likely to need waterproof, but both, there's no smudging with either of these. They are stunning. So finally, I've made it to lips. If you're still here, well done. This feels like a marathon telling you all of these different things. So now lips. There's been so many lip products released this year, as I'm sure you're all well aware. So I've got a few favourites to show you, and I am wearing my current top favourite. I'm wearing a lip liner and a lipstick. So which two do you think I'm wearing? You don't have to guess the colour, obviously. Can you guess the brand? Anyway, I'll show you my favourites. So Lisa Eldridge launched her Baume. I never know how to say this. B-A-U-M-E. How is it pronounced? I bought all of the colours. These are super hydrating. This one is one of my favourites, is Épanoui. Lovely everyday sort of shade. Gives you enough pigment for me. Not particularly long lasting, but the hydration lasts so long. That's what I really love about these. I love the packaging as well. This is my favourite shade, my top shade from that release, and this one is called Red Curve. There is Red Curve. It's almost like a slightly orangey red. I love it. It's a perfect summer shade, and I don't usually like reds, but I love this red on me. Really enjoy this. And I've also really enjoyed these from LANCOME. This is the Lip Idol Squalane Butterglow, Squalane 12 Butterglow even. I like lots of the shades I got. I picked up 4 shades. I'm just showing you one. This isn't particularly my favourite, but I do really like this one. This is shade number 42 is the shade number on this one. So these are slightly thicker than the Lisa Eldridge. They're more grippy to the lips, and they are definitely more pigmented, even though that doesn't look particularly pigmented compared to the ones I showed you. But the two I showed you from Lisa Eldridge are the two most pigmented from her release. But these are, they will give you a bit more colour and a little bit more longevity, but they're not as hydrating, so it's weighing them up. But they're my two favourites, I think, from that type of lip balmy products that have been coming out everywhere this year. So this feels strange. This is the first time I've shown you anything from Charlotte Tilbury, and she's one of my favourite brands. But this is my top release from Charlotte, certainly this year. And this is the Lip Cheat in the shade Fair. Fair is the perfect sort of shade for me. I love how it's that more cool toned pink. It really is gorgeous, and it really does complement my lips a lot. And this was released with the new Kissing formula in Fair as well. So we have Fair and Fair. which for my skin tone was a dream come true. So here is Fair. Look how messy it is. Sorry, I've used this one a lot this year. Here is Fair. Absolutely stunning. My ultimate combination. I will be wearing this one all the time. I have been wearing this one all the time. This has not left my desk for 1 second. And Lisa Eldridge also launched her new Sculpt and Shape lip liners, and they've also been here on my desk all year because I cannot stop using these two. I'm showing you my 3 favorite shades in this. This one is shade 0N. So all of these need to be sharpened in the same way you have to sharpen lip cheats. They don't quite have as much longevity as lip cheats, but they do have a very good longevity. So this is 0N, which is a great neutral shade. And this one is 1C. So there is 1C there. And this one is 2C. Sorry, look how messy it is. Very, very well loved pencils, these are. So there is 2C. So they are my most used shades. And they do lock in. They don't feel like they're going to because they've got more of a creamy finish than the Charlotte Tilbury, even though that's creamy, but this one feels more creamy and it does feel like it'll move. So I think the difference is that the Charlotte Tilbury one sets down very fast. This one, I think if you were to touch it, it would move in the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes of application. But if you're careful and you don't, it will last most of the day. So these are as reliable as Charlotte Tilbury, just slightly different in the way they set down more slowly. But I've used these throughout the year, these and the new Charlotte Tilbury shade and my previous shades from Charlotte Tilbury because I love lip cheats. So these have been favourites. Lisa has come out with some real winners. As you've probably noticed from this video, lots of Lisa Eldridge in this video. And the other lipstick which I've loved so much this year is the new Fenty Gloss Bomb Sticks. I'm showing you all of these, but let me tell you, when I first got this, I only got 3. I loved it so much, I went back for more. And then I went back for more. I can't stop. I should have just got the whole collection. I was trying to be sensible, but these are so good. I cannot stop wearing them. So I got loads of different shades in these, and there's so many different ways to wear them. In fact, one of the things I did was another favourite product from Fenty this year was the new Gloss Bomb Lip Oil. I bought all 3 of these that were launched at the same time as the new Fenty Peachy Blush that I love so much. I love all of them. But in fact, I probably could show you this now. This one is Refined Sugar. So firstly, what am I wearing on my lips? I haven't given that away yet, but I'm going to put the Fenty Refined Sugar on top. Look at that. It smells like cake. It is so strong, the vanilla. Beautiful. Love it. It's very hydrating, smells amazing, gives you that lovely shiny finish. And I love wearing the more, I've got them here because as I said, these haven't left my desk either. So I love both of them. So I got all three of them that were released, and these can be used as standalone. They're pigmented enough. And I can alternate between either of these depending on my look. I love them, all of them, gorgeous. And my other favourite lip oil, which if I had to pick, sorry, they are lip gloss. So this is my favourite lip oil. But if I had to pick a favourite lip topper, this would probably beat them just about because this is so stunning. And that is from Guerlain. This is their Kiss Kiss Bee Oil. This is, firstly, the softest doe foot I've ever used in my life. This formula is so soothing and so beautiful. You don't get an awful lot of pigment from this. If I just show you on the back of my hand, just a little tiny touch of pink coming through there. But this has a slight scent, not too much, but this is just, it's the way this feels, the way it feels as you apply it and the way it feels for the next few hours after applying it. It is just a glorious feeling. I love the packaging. It's just the best. It is. Sorry to any other lip oils out there, but this is the best. But back to the Fenty glosses. One of the things I've loved doing with these is putting any one of these actually, and then adding one of the Gloss Bomb sticks, one of these, just into the center of the lips. So when you want to dilute a color, especially like this red, this deep red, if you want to dilute that and not have such impact, then put the Gloss Bomb on first and then put the stick in sort of center honestly, they work together. It's a double gloss, but I love it. It was a bit of a funny way I came across finding that, but it wasn't even intended, but oh wow, love it. And then I got the liners from Fenty as well. These are the traced out liners. These are super creamy, and I just love the colours and the way they match up with the lipsticks that I got. Some of them are actually exactly the same name wise, some of them not. So you can just match them up to give yourself a very cohesive look, or you can have different shades. So however you like wearing it really. But these are beautiful. In fact, I can see these being as popular with me as the Lisa Eldridge and the Charlotte Tilbury. That's how good they are. They've got the longevity. It went past 9 hours when I tried these. And the reason I can't say they're my favourite is they're quite new to my collection. So I'm not going to say they've beaten Charlotte Tilbury, but I think they are up there with a good chance, find out at the end of the year, of being as good as for me. So having shown you all my favourite lip liners and lipsticks, which one do you think I am wearing today? Obviously the gloss slightly changes things. And you've probably already guessed, haven't you? It is Fenty. I don't necessarily have a favourite shade. I love matching it to my eye look. So today I'm wearing Ice Cold. And the reason I love these so much is because they just give you this lovely, lovely glossy finish, but it grips to the lips. It doesn't run. But look at the shine on it. It's so comfortable. It's like applying a lip balm and a lipstick and a gloss all in one go. I just love them. I love the packaging. I love the fact that you can see the colour of the lipstick from the outside. I adore them. I can't stop using them. They've got a really strong chance of being my #1 of the year or of all time. That's how good they are. And I matched this one today with Peanut Butter, the traced out liner. So there's the Peanut Butter liner, which I'm wearing, and there is the lip gloss stick. Gloss Bomb Sticks. All these names, honestly. But yeah, huge winner. So Fenty's been another brand that's been a massive winner for me already this year. The blushes and the lip glosses, liners and lipsticks, all in my favourites. So Fenty's been a standout brand for me again this year, like Lisa Eldridge has. And the last thing I apply is my setting spray. So I've got a brand new setting spray which has overtaken Charlotte Tilbury for me, and that is the setting spray from Vive. I love the scent of this. I love how it's such a fine mist, but it also locks my everything down all day. It's really effective, but it's also very hydrating, more hydrating than the Charlotte Tilbury, but still locking everything in. I think if I still wanted that sort of locked in, will never move a tiny bit for the most perfect day, a bit like with the Tom Ford foundation, I probably would return to Charlotte Tilbury for that. So I haven't stopped using it, but this is my everyday. I love this. I just love it. It's such a nice experience to use. I love that it's hydrating, and there's no alcohol in this one. It's a really friendly one for the skin. And then the other one, which isn't a setting spray, but one that I've shown you a lot on my channel now, is from the Delilah Wake Up range. I use this before, during and after application and throughout the day. This is a hydrating mist. It has a beautiful scent and an even more fine spray than the Vive. This has the finest spray of any face mist I've ever tried. It is stunning. It's the best face mist on the planet as far as I'm concerned. Love this. And really quickly, as this video is the longest thing I've ever filmed in my life, onto brushes. New brush launches that I have used a lot this year, and one of those was the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose. I've got the full collection, but I've pulled out the two that I use the most, and this is this duo here. So this one is the N14 and this one is the N16. So the N16 is the one I use for concealer, and then the N14 is the one I use to put powder in. The N16 is great for contour underneath the lips and on the nose, and this is good for pushing in any powders into these sorts of areas. That's the main purpose I use this duo for. It's the best duo for that. Although I have enjoyed lots of other brushes from that collection, they're the top two. And the other two brushes, which I've only recently received, but I know they're favourites already, are from Refa, and this one is the foundation brush, the B04. I loved the B02, which was the first one they released, but now the B04 has taken over from the B02, and this one is the B05. So this is the perfect sort of pore shape for concealer, so under here. And then obviously this one for foundation, great for skin tints as well, which the Beaute is as well. I'd still use the Beaute for skin tints specifically. This one may be more for foundation, but this also works for skin tints. Beautiful, love Refa, one of the best brands ever. I use all their brushes all the time for my eye makeup as well. But what I also use is a new collection I got at the start of this year, and that is this release here from Sonia G. This is the Tradition series, the Keyaki Kakashibu collection. So this pretty much gives me everything I need. The one I don't use is this big chunky one. I don't find that one particularly useful, but I use this one all the time. And it's the T3. I use this for the crease and building up in the outer V. It's just the perfect shape and density for that. And I love to use this one as well for putting on shimmers. This is the T1, and the T2 I'd say is the other one I use the most, again for shimmers as well when I'm going to more of the outer part of the lid. So these two are both fluffy brushes, which I do use, but I've shown you the ones I use the most. But this collection has been a winner. I love the wooden handles, just so beautiful. Very expensive collection, but definitely something worth investing in my opinion, because best brushes mean best makeup looks. They really do. And the very last thing I'm going to show you quickly is my favourite perfume purchase of the year, and this is from Huda. This is the Kayali Vacay set. One of these even has the banana scent, which is what sold it to me. I love these. They have the most beautiful summer scents. They're only tiny, but they're so perfect for holiday. Just take a couple of these, you can layer them. Lemon Sugar is my second favourite. I absolutely adore Lemon Sugar. And then we have Maldives in a Bottle. They're all themed around holiday destinations, and they really do make you think of holiday, every single one. This one is called Maui in a Bottle, and this one is called Marrakesh in a Bottle. The lemon one is called Capri in a Bottle, by the way, but I just love them. They are all sort of fruity, sweet. If you like gourmand and you like fruity, then you're going to love these. They are so fun. I just adore them. They don't have much longevity, so you do need to reapply, but I actually like that because I can change my scent throughout the day. So I might have a morning, mid-afternoon and an evening scent, which I love. So for me, these are a treat for holiday only, and that's exactly how I'm using them. So that's it. I've reached the end of this marathon, the longest video I've ever filmed without even trying on any makeup. So if you've made it to the end, thank you so much for still being here. I hope this has been helpful to you. I've rattled through this, I feel, quickly because I haven't gone into great detail about the product, but obviously I haven't been quick because there's so many favourites. What a year we are having for makeup and beauty releases. I am so impressed with things I've tried this year. I'd love to hear from you what your favourites are. Have I included some of your favourites? Have I missed some of them out? Please do let me know. I would love to hear from you down below. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I would love it so much if you did. And if you already are, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you all so very much. And I hope to see all of you for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.